Hey, what's good, everybody on YouTube? So, UFC 263 was this past Saturday, Adesanya versus Vettori, and I thought I'd just give my thoughts on some of the fights. The first fight I want to talk about is Chase Hooper versus Steven Peterson on the early prelims, because I like Chase Hooper. He's a really young kid, um, but he's just too small right now, man, and he doesn't have the strength, and his striking's not there yet. I thought he could have won that first round. He had a heel hook on Steven Peterson at the end of the first round that looked like I had Steven Peterson in some trouble at first, but he got out of it. And then the rest of the fight was pretty boring, honestly. Steven Peterson just kind of laid on him the next two rounds, but Chase Hooper was pulling him down basically into his guard. But yeah, Chase Hooper needs to work on the striking. I don't know what's next for him. He might go to another promotion or something, or I don't know. He needs to work on the striking and get some man strength. He's a really skinny kid, but I honestly thought his striking looked a little bit better, improved a little bit. Like Peterson wasn't outclassing him on the feet. Chase landed a couple of good shots, but yeah, the next fight I'd like to talk about is Terence McKeen versus Matt Fravola. So Terence McKeen is an up and coming prospect. He was whooping that one dude. I forgot his name. He fought on the last card, but it was in Dana White's Contender Series, and the dude that's shaped weird, he was beating that guy up, and then he got hit with a flying knee at the last second, put out cold. But then Terence went to the PFL, racked up a couple of wins, I think, maybe one, and he took this fight on short notice. I think he fought in PFL like a week ago, and he took this fight on short notice, and he came out. And he said his coach told him to hit Matt Fravola with a 1-2 right when he came out, and he did that, man. And he knocked out Matt Fravola in 7 seconds. So that was a crazy UFC debut for him. I'm excited to see what's next for him. But he was celebrating, and he jumped off the cage and he injured himself. So I really don't know what his injury is looking like right now. He could have tore something, I don't know. But yeah, it was crazy. He knocked out the dude in 7 seconds, and then and then got injured, man. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's next for him. And then the fight of the night was Drew Dober versus Brad Riddell. I thought Drew Dober, one of the fight of the nights. I'd say this is probably fight of the night, but Drew Dober won that first round. And it seems like Drew Dober, he always comes out swinging in the first round, but then he kind of gasses out, and Brad Riddell took over and got a couple of takedowns, And yeah, Brad Riddell won the last 2 rounds, but those dudes came out swinging. Props to Brad Riddell. That's Israel Adesanya's teammate. But yeah, those dudes came out swinging. Was a banger, man. So Brad Riddell, he's going to be ranked like top 13, something like that now. So should get a top 10 opponent next. And then, yeah, moving on to the main card. Paul Craig versus Jamal Hill. Everybody was sleeping on Paul Craig, the Bear Jew, man. This dude's got crazy submissions, and Jamal Hill, he's a young and up-and-comer. He was undefeated before this fight, but Paul Craig got him in an armbar, man, and it was crazy. I was at a sports bar watching this. Everybody was going crazy. Everybody was grossed out because Paul Craig we all thought he broke Hill's arm at first, but it turns out Hill's arm wasn't broke. It was just dislocated, and the ref was terrible, man. You could clearly see that this man's arm was broken or something, and the ref didn't stop it. So yeah, that was it looked like Jamal Hill was trying to tap too, and he didn't know what to do, man. He couldn't use his other arm. He only has one arm, and the ref wouldn't stop it. So yeah, shout out to Paul Craig for that. The Scottish Bear Jew, man. So yeah, and then Damian Maia versus Bilal Muhammad. This fight was pretty boring, honestly. But yeah, Bilal Muhammad, I'm not going to speak too much on it. He clearly won that fight. I thought he was going to win that fight. He was in my parlay, so yeah, man, shout out to Bilal Muhammad. I think he should fight like Jeff Neal or somebody like that next. But yeah, then moving on to the first fight ever that wasn't for a championship, but was 5 rounds in the UFC. Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. This fight was, if not the best fight of the night, the second best fight of the night. But yeah, man, Leon Edwards was picking apart Nate Diaz for 24 minutes, man. He was basically dominating Nate Diaz the whole time, but Nate Diaz is a gangster, man. This man's always game. He started bleeding in like the second or third round, and it's not a Nate Diaz fight if he's not bleeding. It's not a Nate Diaz fight if something crazy doesn't happen. And in the 5th round, like the last minute, Nate Diaz Leon Edwards like throws a wild hook and Nate Diaz lands a sniper 1-2 down the middle and clips Leon Edwards right on the chin. And that's the first time I've ever seen Leon Edwards wobbled like that. But instead of going for the finish, Nate Diaz just pointed at him and laughed. And Leon Edwards started to grab a hold of Nate Diaz, and he survived, man. So shout out to both these guys for that fight. I'm glad Nate Diaz is back. He's a fan favorite, and Leon Edwards should get some recognition after this. But I don't know. It's kind of sad because Leon Edwards dominated Nate Diaz, but all anyone's gonna remember from this fight is that last minute. Nate Diaz rocked Leon Edwards, man. So that was crazy. But yeah, man, I'd like to see Nate Diaz fight. I don't know, man. There's a lot of fights Nate Diaz could have that would be pretty exciting. So maybe like Robbie Lawler or somebody like that. I don't know. Maybe Jorge again. I don't know. But yeah, Leon should wait for the winner of Usman versus Colby Covington too and get his title shot. That's 9 straight. He would have beat Bilal too, so it's basically like 10 straight. But moving on to the co-main event was Davidson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. And this was my parlay buster, man. I thought it was going to be a great fight, but I thought Davidson would pull it out. You know, Davidson's a savage. But I think that weight cut takes too much out of him. Not taking anything away from Brandon Moreno. I love that dude. I wanted Brandon Moreno to win, even though I put money on Davidson. But yeah, man, Brandon Moreno's he's a super nice dude, bro. He seems like he might take that NMF belt from Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I don't know, but this dude collects Legos. He collects Funko Pops and all that stuff, bro. He's like a happy-go-lucky kid all the time. But yeah, man, he dominated Davidson. Let's be honest. Davidson had nothing for him. He had nothing on the feet. He had nothing on the ground for Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno was hitting him with that left jab and his right hook, you know, and Davidson had nothing for him. I really think that weight cut takes too much out of him. He needs to go up to 135. But yeah, Brandon Moreno eventually took Davidson's back and choked him out with the rear naked choke. Well, he didn't choke him out. He forced Davidson to tap. But after the fight, Davidson picked him up. Was really happy for him. How can you not be happy for Brandon Moreno? He's first Mexican-born champion, and he's just an all-around good dude, man. So props to him. I'd like to see him fight Askarov next, the dude who's deaf. But I think that's his name. Let me see. Askarov. Let me see. Yeah, Askarov. I'd like to see him fight him next. And yeah, so shout outs to Brandon Moreno. And I think Davidson Figueiredo should go up to 135. They should book that fight against Cody Garbrandt that was supposed to happen, but book it at 135. And then the main event was Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori. And this fight wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be. I thought Israel was going to finish Marvin this time, but Marvin's a tough dude. He's got a chin. And Marvin's, I think, only like 27, so he's only going to keep getting better too. But yeah, he really didn't have anything on the feet for Israel, and Israel didn't even put that much out there. He was just touching him up with that leg kick, and Marvin Vettori got a couple of takedowns, but overall, Israel Adesanya defended like 80% of them, so that answers questions about his takedown defense at 185. I think Jan Blachowicz was just able to take him down because of the size difference, you know, and hold him down. But yeah, if you can't take down Izzy at 185, these guys are going to have problems with him. I think Robert Whittaker could give him problems, but yeah, he defended like 8 of 11 or something like that. Something crazy, like 80-something% of Marvin Vettori's takedowns. And yeah, overall, this fight wasn't too crazy. Israel just touched him up from a distance and didn't put too much output out there. But overall, I thought Izzy won like all 5 rounds. Maybe that first round was pretty close, but he didn't finish Vettori, so it's not like a statement win, you know. But Israel Adesanya, shout outs to him, man. He's a great champion, 4 defenses. But yeah, man, this is just my thoughts on the event. It was a solid event. The craziest moment was that Nate Diaz moment when he rocked Leon like that and could have finished him with like a minute left. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.